Red China, 500 million souls toiled to create from nothing a new military and industrial colossus. They are ruled by the aggressive Mao Tse Tung, whose harsh Stalinism is exported to the world by Foreign Minister Chou En-Lai. In 1964, Chou toured non-white and non-aligned nations. He sought support for Red China against the West and against Moscow. In Egypt, one step ahead of his Soviet rivals, Chou courted Nasser, who has been wooed by both Moscow and the West. Chou hinted to Nasser even Soviet aid was a Trojan horse, and pointed to China's recent gains made without Moscow help. But at Aswan, where the Soviets are helping to build a new dam, Nasser and Khruschev participated in the opening of a diversion channel for the Nile. Khruschev, busy rallying world opinion for his showdown with the Chinese, could hardly fail to remind Nasser of Egypt's debt. For in truth, Khruschev needed not only communist support against Red China, but every ounce of personal prestige he could muster. It was hard to come by in Norway, and even in satellite nations who resisted involvement in the Moscow-Peking fracas. The Red World sizzled, while Khruschev jigged. At home, Khrushchev's policies were judged unprofitable, and in a world-startling move, he was thrown out of office. Leonid Brezhnev, a professional bureaucrat, became boss of the Communist Party. Alexei Kosygin took over as premier of the Soviet Union. The new leadership pledged continuance of the policy of peaceful coexistence and adherence to the bomb test ban. Ominously, however, shortly after Khrushchev's fall, Chou En-Lai appeared in Moscow. In his portfolio, he carried a pressed Chinese triumph, the successful detonation of a nuclear device, a feat that signaled China's arrival in the nuclear club. In South Vietnam, the proximity of Red China is an awesome reality, a perpetually encroaching threat. But it was a year of internal unrest in Vietnam, of war and political turmoil. The Buddhists and students who a year ago toppled the government of the Diems continued to agitate against their successors. Periodic riots forced the ouster of General Min. Here's seen with U.S. Ambassador Lodge. More riots forced Min's successor, General Khan, to surrender the government to civilian hands. Tran Van Huang became the new premier. He proved equally unpopular with the Buddhists and students. United States Ambassador Maxwell Taylor arrived in Saigon, hoping to find some formula to establish a stable government so that the war against the Viet Cong guerrillas could get on. As Saigon's difficulties grew, in the Tonkin Gulf, North Vietnam attacked American forces. Carrier-based U.S. planes retaliated swiftly against North Vietnamese installations, and American B-57 bombers were moved to Bien Hoa Air Base in South Vietnam in a show of force. A sneak attack by guerrillas caught the bombers on the ground. 4 Americans were killed. U.S. capability remained, but our prestige was hurt. General Westmoreland, chief American advisors, surveyed the damage. In the Jungle War, the Vietnamese are pitted against a very simple but effective guerrilla strategy. The Viet Cong strike when they feel success is assured, so that 1,000 small victories will add up to one final one. Against the elusive foe, the Vietnamese, under U.S. advisors, used napalm to burn out their foe from the enshrouding jungles. This year, the Viet Cong struck in larger groups than ever before, but they avoided efforts to engage in toe-to-toe slugging. When government forces flushed a large communist group, the guerrillas drifted into the jungle to regroup and strike against inferior forces. And so in South Vietnam, the war and the terror went on, and so did the political instability.